Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Always an honor to be with you. Matthew James Tax Reduction Hotline. If you want to be part of the program, we are honored to have the Speaker of the House, Congressman Mike Johnson. Congressman Johnson, how you doing? I know you're smiling today.
Yeah, it's a big day for us, Moon. We have jammed the Senate and Chuck Schumer. You know, they always try to play games with us. I think we outsmarted them this time. But we did the right thing for the American people, brother. We funded the government through the end of the fiscal year, September. We did a CR, so it has frozen funding, which means we're going to have the first year-over-year reduction in federal spending, I think, ever. I think it might be the first time in American history. We did the right thing. We're going to keep the government open. We passed it in the House. All Republicans except one voted for it. All Democrats except one voted against it. They voted to shut the government down, even though they've all been on record 1,000 times over the last few years saying that would be disastrous for the country. They don't care. You know why? Because they're going to do anything they can to try to stop President Trump and the America First agenda, and this is the only weapon they have, and they're willing to use it against the people. And I hope the Senate Democrats do the right thing and keep the government open.
Well, let me ask a quick question, because that's where I was going next. So Schumer, who is the Senate leader, comes out and says, I'm voting for it. I know Fetterman's voting for it. I think that's his name. And Rand Paul says he's not voting for it. So you need 6 more votes. With Schumer coming out for it, are they trying to rally Democrats to go against it? Are they playing some kind of game behind the scenes? Because the bottom line is there'll be a vote today. There's going to be a vote today. So we're going to know everything we need to know today. Or do you feel like, or what are you hearing about other Democrats coming along?
They're in total panic mode. I mean, you can Google this and see what's happening. The Democrats are turning on one another. The Senate Democrats are fighting each other. The House Democrats are fighting the Senate Democrats. We got them in a real bind on this thing because they know that if they shut the government down, it's going to be blamed on them, and it will be painful. I mean, government shutdowns, you're going to stop paying military personnel. You're going to stop paying, TSA agents. You'll have long lines at the airports. I mean, the Border Patrol won't be paid, on and on and on. Services get interrupted. It's a serious situation, and it will be completely on them. So that's why Schumer's folded. He doesn't want the political backlash, but then he's getting backlash the other way as well, because the radical left, who want with everything within them to fight us, fight Trump, fight what Elon Musk is doing with DOGE. This is the only thing they have, and so they're just lots of gnashing of teeth over there. There are reports you can see online about the Democrats' closed-door meetings over the last 24, 48 hours where they're screaming at each other. I mean, they just don't know what to do. But they better do the right thing. They better find 6 more votes, keep this government open, or it will be blamed on them. And they're going to have dire political consequences no matter what they do at this point.
Congressman Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. Congressman, let me ask you a question, because I've heard and read a little bit another theory that if it did close down, this actually benefits President Trump and Elon Musk, because now they can say, okay, not military, and maybe within the military too, but not military, that you can now go and with the money you got coming in, because I don't think it's a total shutdown, and you can now say, okay, well, if these are not essential workers, then we can just do away with the jobs totally. And they don't want that at all. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, there is. I mean, the administration gets to decide who is deemed essential employees and who is not. Mm-hmm. And that might be a great benefit, as they've rightfully pointed out, to the DOGE effort to have a classification that way.
Oh, my God.
I think, I think it's 83% of the American people in the latest poll believe we need to reduce federal spending, right? 77% of the people want us to go through with a fine-tooth comb, line by line, and eliminate wasteful, abusive federal spending. Of course, we hadn't had the ability to do that until now because Elon has gotten inside the bureaucracies to find the data that the deep state was hiding from Congress, so we couldn't do the oversight. So now, if you take this next step, and the administration has given the pen to determine which categories of employees are essential and which are not, that would be a serious threat to big government socialist Democrats. So,
but you don't, Congressman, you don't want that to happen, though. You would rather go the other route. No. But if it does happen, will it really be that bad? I'm just asking. You got a better grip on it than I do. Would it be that bad for Trump and Musk and DOGE to be able to really get down and dirty as far as finding out where the problems are?
No, and that's ultimately exactly where we're headed.
Okay.
It would be easier to do it methodically and carefully without having, long lines at the airports, for example, without having Border Patrol agents murmuring over whether or not they're going to work or not, right? So we want to do it in the appropriate manner over the next couple of months to dig this out and do it right so there's no errors, and that's what we're in the process of doing. If they shut the government down in one way, it's kind of a blessing and a curse, right? It fast forwards that effort, but good people get hurt in the process, right? So we would rather do it methodically, and that's the decision that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have to make right now.
I want to get, in the last couple, 3 minutes I got with you, I want to get your take on DOGE. I think it's awesome, but I want to get your take on how does Congress really feel about what Musk and them are doing, Republicans included, because I don't even think he's touched the surface of what they're going to eventually find out. Everybody's looking up like he's already went over 50% of the government spending. I don't know if he's touched 5% of the government spending. So what is the real feeling about this?
Yeah, I can tell you, Republicans are euphoric about it, okay? This is what we have always wanted and needed to do. When I decided to run for Congress a little over 8 years ago, my whole objective was to come to Washington and cut federal spending because we have a $36 trillion federal debt, and it's the largest national security threat we have. It's not China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. It's our debt, because if you can't fund the military, we're all in trouble and we lose our superpower status. So we're bankrupting our children and grandchildren. We got to fix it. But here's the problem. When I got to Washington, I figured out real quickly, we can't really do oversight. I've been spending a lot of time with Elon late at night in his office. We're going over all this stuff. And a couple weeks ago, we were going through the fraud, waste, and abuse he found just in Social Security. And we were getting increasingly excited for different reasons. I said, Elon, we're looking at this differently. You're excited as a data analyst and a scientist. I'm looking at this as a constitutional law attorney and an historian. Elon, it's about more than just saving money. What we're going to do at the end of this is restore the founders' vision for the way the government is supposed to work. I mean, when they drafted the Constitution, the framers of the Constitution wanted a limited federal government. They wanted a small national government, and they wanted all the power really pushed out of the states, right? But what's happened over the years, what they envisioned was that the federal government would do a limited number of things, and that you would have careful oversight by the duly elected representatives of the people in Congress. But here's the problem. For decades, those elected representatives haven't been able to do the job. Why? Because every time we try to do oversight, every time we request the records or even issue a subpoena, these agencies have hidden the ball. I mean, we didn't know we were funding transgender operas in Peru in USAID, right? I mean, obviously, we would have struck all that nonsense out, but they hid it. So Elon has cracked the code, man. He is inside the agencies. His algorithms are crawling through the data that we never had access to, and he's finding all these crazy things. And it is a huge benefit to the people. So, yes, we're cheering him along. Now, he's the first to admit there's going to be some mistakes along the way early on because there's no playbook for this, but we're going to fix it. And he has, and essential workers are being brought back and all that. But you have to be aggressive about this. This is our once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And DOGE is doing what Congress has been literally unable to do. And this is a big change in the way government's going to work.
That last question, I'll let you get out of here. I know we're passing the CR, and I'm not going to get into you with that. I understand that the votes and all that stuff. But in the future, what's the plans to try to get away from these CRs? I just want to know, because I know you probably know what you want to do. But what you want to do, is it going to be possible with the number of votes that you have, which is only a few, to get it done? And so just walk me through that a little bit of what you think will happen. I'll let you get out of here.
Yeah, I don't like CRs any more than anybody else. And when I was a rank-and-file member of Congress, I voted against them. This time, this was the conservative play. That's why literally every conservative group in America endorsed it, and President Trump did, and J.D. Vance did. We all pushed it because we have frozen funding, and we spent less money year over year than ever before. And that's a big innovation. But here's the exciting thing. What we've done by doing this is we now allow the administration and DOGE to continue their work identifying all the fraud, waste, and abuse. That is going to help us when the White House now sends its budget request, when the Trump White House sends its budget request to Congress in the next several weeks for FY26. It's a totally different ballgame because that budget is going to include the DOGE savings. It's going to include the new revenue sources that the administration is creating, and we're going to be in a totally different ballgame than we've ever been before. We're going to appropriate and create a smaller, leaner, more efficient, effective federal government. This is the Super Bowl. This is what we've been waiting on our whole lives, and because we have a Trump White House, Republicans in the Senate and the House, we finally have a chance to do it. So it's very exciting.
And what you mean is the budget that y'all going to have to reconstruct starting October 1st next year, which is 25-26.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, 26. That's right.
Man, thank you. I want to see the Senate do what they have to do, but be interesting to see. But the vote's today because that's it, if I'm correct. They got it. Something will happen today.
Yeah, because if not, then the government shuts down at midnight tonight.
Okay.
So this is it.
All right. Congressman Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. All right. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thanks, bud.
All right. We got to get out of here. We'll be back. More to come. Moon Griffon Show. Your calls are welcome. It is the Matthew James Tax Reduction Hotline. Be right back.